Welcome to NBA Game Time. Chris Miles, Rex Chapman, running back two nights in a row, my friend. Guess we're officially teammates now.
Yes, we are.
Glad I didn't lose you in free agency.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here.
Well, Jabari Parker no longer there for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now there for the Chicago Bulls. Second overall pick in the 2014 draft. Signed a 2-year, $40 million deal with his hometown team. Is this a good move for both teams?
I'm all in on Jabari. I really like him. I liked him a lot at Duke. He's been injury-plagued his first few years. The 1 year, though, that he played 70-plus games, he averaged 20 points and nearly 6 rebounds a game. He's a very good player. Puts that thing in the basket. A little turnover-prone. But, listen, if he can stay healthy, he's a building block. Going back home to Chicago, I love it for the Bulls.
But if you're Milwaukee, why not do a sign and trade and try to get something back again for the second pick in the draft just 4 years ago?
I think they're a little log-jammed. I think the emergence of Giannis maybe softens the blow a little bit, letting Jabari go, and then Chris Middleton on the wing. I think they get Robin Lopez in. So I like this move for both teams. And I also like the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks, in this day of sort of professional sports and trying to get the best of one another, they did what I think was the right thing for Jabari Parker and let him go as an unrestricted free agent and make some money.
We're going to talk about this later, especially looking at your favorite off-season moves so far around the league. So let's get to some Summer League highlights. Those Pistons and those Bulls we just mentioned. Number 7 overall pick, Wendell Carter, looks good. But, hey, it's about the Pistons' 2016 first-round pick, Henry Ellenson, showing some signs of life.
Doing work in there. He didn't get a lot of playing time last year. He's really improved, gotten stronger. I like him.
How about the Bulls' 22nd overall pick, Chandler Hutchinson, beating the buzzer, then going to the bucket. Hey now.
Get in front of somebody.
Bright future for this team.
Absolutely.
Chicago Bulls.
No question about it. You know, they got young kid Antonio Blakeney on their squad, and he went off out there a couple games this week.
Ellenson, 21 points. Detroit gets the win 72-66. Utah, Memphis, Jaren Jackson.
This is my man.
Can't leave him open outside.
Unorthodox shot, sort of shoots a knuckleball up there. But look who came to play.
That's a second-round pick right there, Jevon Carter. And you like him a lot. Reminds you of one of your old teammates.
No question about it. I said he reminds me a lot of Anthony Carter, who we had out in Denver. Just a junkyard dog. Will get after you end to end, and he's getting better offensively.
Check out Jaren Jackson being a defensive decision maker.
Yeah.
And he gets it going the other end.
Smothered chicken. That's what that was on the other end. Smothered chicken by Jaren Jackson.
And then,
come on.
Nice move.
18 years old. Dribble, get into you, spin, lay it in. That's a pro.
9 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks, and hey, Jevon Carter. You say he has to work on his offense of all things. 26 points, looking good. Memphis gets the win, 92-86. Colin Sexton, this is your show, Cavs Rockets. 15 points in the first half.
I'm going to throw a name at you, and this is 2018, Gary Payton. I really like Colin Sexton. He's a bundle of energy, ball of energy, gets after you. You're in for a long night whenever you have to play against him, and he slaps shots in like Gary Payton.
And he'll take a team on 3-on-5. He'll get the job done.
Yes, he will.
Missing 2 teammates. Second half, Daniel House.
Can shoot it. Can really shoot.
I feel like if your last name is House, it's not about taking the house. It's about hitting that outside shot.
Can't be a bricklayer.
No, not at all.
House.
That's a good point. Yeah. Marcus Lee.
Give me those.
Part of Cleveland. Cleveland.
You know, he at one point went to Kentucky.
Oh, man. Hey, Scoochie Smith with the moves. Then Jamel Artis for 3. Icing on the cake. Cleveland gets the win, 92-87. Okay, so it's just Colin Sexton is a guy that has been impressive in the Summer League. Yeah. And I know it's just the Summer League, and I know it's college, and it's not the NBA regular season. Yeah. But he seems like a kid that can get it done once the season starts.
I think so. You know, I was fortunate to be able to watch him a couple times play this year against Shea Alexander with the Clippers. And Shea got the best of Colin one night. Colin got the best of Shea one night. Those guys are going to play a long time in this league, health permitting. I'm a big fan of both of them. They play both ends of the floor, and they're both really good teammates.
Considering he'll have the ball a lot in his rookie season, do you think he can be a possible Rookie of the Year candidate?
Sure, he will have the ball up and down. They're not going to be very good. They're going to lose a lot of games. But I think when you draft a kid in the top 10 like this, you definitely want him to be a starter. And especially if it's a bad team, you're going to throw him out there, let him play as many minutes as he can, and play through his mistakes. I'm a big fan, and I think he does have a chance to be ROY.
Hey, 48% from the field in Summer League. Let's see if he can keep that up when the regular season comes around. Well, Paul George staying in OKC might have big playoff implications next spring. What other teams are having a great offseason? Rex gives us his thoughts next on NBA Game Time. So LeBron officially signed with the Lakers this past Thursday, July 9th. His agent, Rich Paul, you see him there in the picture. He sat down with Matt Weiner and Isaiah Thomas during a Summer League game and explained why LeBron chose L.A.
To be clear, no one really knew what we were doing and what we wasn't going to do. There's a lot of speculation out there. Of course, yeah. We don't have sources, For those that do talk to myself, I gave them as much information as I could. But for him, it was just a basketball decision. I think it was one of the biggest challenges this year. When he went to Miami, it was about winning the championship. When he came home, it was about delivering a promise. This one, he really had no footing. It was basically about what he wanted to do and what made him happy. And he earned that, being in his 16th season. You don't have athletes in your 16th season, you're the #1 free agent.
No.
That don't
think that's
happen.
ever happened.
No, normally in your 16th season, they're trying to push you out of whichever league it is that they're playing.
Or you're a complimentary veteran.
Yeah, or you
don't
take a
get
step
to your
down,
16th
or you don't get there. Exactly. So my advice to him was, do what makes you happy. Let me do my job in helping you understand the landscape, and you tell me what's important to you. And so I had his board ready, and the teams that he looked at, and for guys like Ben Simmons, it was the reason why he looked at Philadelphia, but ultimately he chose the Lakers. And there was no, people say, well, it's about movies, it's about this. It's LeBron James. He's already a global entity, so it wasn't necessarily about that. Now, obviously, if that's what you're into and you're on that platform, it enhances it because everyone's there. But that wasn't part of the decision to go to that. It was, it's a challenge. I thought this was the biggest challenge, going to a place, regardless everyone thought it was what it was going to be because this guy went or that guy went. No, and he made the decision to go, and so we'll see what happens. He's excited. I think they're excited, and that's all that matters in that regard.
So, Rex, I think it's safe to say that King James holds the crown as the biggest free agency move so far this offseason. But let's go through your best moves and the best teams so far. And we'll start with the Lakers. Is LeBron enough in the other moves that they made to make the playoffs and really contend in the West for the Lakers?
Some disrespect. I don't want to say no disrespect. Did you see the team that he just took to the finals? I said some
but that's
disrespect.
in the East. Play devil's advocate. That was in the East.
I'm with you. No, listen, I think, yes, I do. I think he can. They need shooters. I'd love to try to get a 10 date if I can. But they need a couple shooters. I got to think that, listen, who wouldn't go to Los Angeles and live out the rest of their careers in any kind of work in Los Angeles, in California? It's a great place. Magic's there. They're going to get things going. I think there's about a 0% chance, though, that Kawhi doesn't figure into this somehow. They had to have put all their eggs in that basket. I just don't see LeBron going out there with nothing else coming along with him. I think they have to be holding out for Kawhi.
So, in other words, we're going to look out in L.A. and see what other moves they make, but we have to look back east, okay? And a lot of teams now, it seems, it's wide open because the East got weaker with LeBron leaving. The Bulls made several moves. They re-upped restricted free agent Zach LaVine, who played just 24 games last season due to injury, so he's like a new player. Also, they got Jabari Parker, and you like what they did in the draft as well.
Love it. Wendell Carter, I felt like was, if not the best big man in the draft. I had him second overall. I think he's a stud. He comes to play every night. He's low to no maintenance on and off the court. He's a shot blocker. You can pick and pop with him, pick and roll. They've got Laurie Markin in there. They have the signing of Zach LaVine. They're just going to be very young. I love Jabari Parker going to this team, though. That's a guy who, when he's healthy, he's averaged, he played one year over 70 games and averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds. He's got to do a little bit better rebounding the ball. The main thing for him is staying healthy. If he can stay healthy, I think this ends up being a terrific deal for not only Jabari and the Bulls, but also for Milwaukee.
All right, Memphis. They were awful last year. 22 wins. That's it.
Yep.
Second worst record in the West. But you think they got better this offseason? You like what they did in the draft? Explain.
I really do. I really like Jaren Jackson Jr. He's a shot blocker, a kid with a lot of toughness. He's been around the game. His dad played in the league. I played against his dad for quite a few years. This young man really and truly, the sky's the limit. He can get up and down the floor. He runs. He shot blocks. He's mean, tough. And then you got Mike Conley coming back and Marc Gasol. I think they're a playoff team.
Now, I knew we were going to be here together this
Did you?
evening, so I wore this orange tie just to represent for you and those New York Knicks.
I know
because we got a Kentucky guy, too.
New York Knicks is what they call him. Yeah.
Great draft.
Yes.
Mitchell Robinson, New York Knicks.
Hey, Mitchell Robinson. Let's say he's not, Wilt Chamberlain. He's Theo Ratliff, maybe. He's, he can get up and down the floor. He catches everything. He finishes everything. Dunks everything quick. I'm a big fan of this young man. They're going to have to work with him quite a bit on his strength and conditioning, but man, he has really played well in Summer League. And then my guy from Kentucky, Kevin Knox, he's been sort of all the rage out in New York this last couple weeks. He's gotten so much stronger over the last 6 months. I watched Kevin play every game of his college career. He's a terrific young man, plays hard, plays the right way, and your Knicks have a bright future.
Okay, we're going to have to move on from New York. I have a feeling next season we'll talk about them a lot, and I'll be smiling. But in free agency, we often talk about the guys that leave teams, come to new situations, and how that affects the NBA. But in OKC, Sam Presti traded for Paul George the year before, and then offered him an extension, and he stayed. That seems to be a big coup for the Thunder.
I think it is. And in fact, we talked about this a little earlier, Chris, offset. I really like the pairing of Russ and Paul together, and I like it a lot more without Carmelo there at this stage of his career. No disrespect to Melo. I love Melo. But I think that right now, if you've got Paul George and you've got Russell Westbrook, I think Paul will take a more assertive role. Neither one of those guys will need to defer to Melo at all, and I think it'll be on for these guys come October.
Since the season has passed, the Paul George-Russell Westbrook relationship seems to be very tight now. I don't know if they're just doing that for the cameras, but when you get to the postseason next year, can you see those two guys figure it out? And are they good enough to be contenders in the West? Because we know what Golden State is, and it seems as if Houston might have taken a step back.
I like, they added Nerlens Noel. That's a shot blocker who's going to get up and down the floor. Yes, I think they can. They can bounce back, and I do. I like the pairing of Paul George and Russell with Melo off to the side, because I think these guys will get back to doing what they do, and that's putting their foot on the gas and scoring that basket.
And Stephen Adams is not a bad guy to have as quote your third guy. Speaking of big men, a Boogie to the Warriors. Twitter almost exploded. Some people were super excited about it. Others, not so much, as in maybe we're overplaying this too much because this is not the 25 and 12 guy they're going to get. So where are you on this?
I think it's huge. Kentucky guy, got to throw that out there, of course.
Everybody's
you know this, guys. You set me up for these things. I love Boogie going there. I love it for the Warriors. Look, they need another challenge. They're going back to the finals, I think, again, for a, fifth year? I think Boogie needs this, though, and I think this is a great move for both Golden State and DeMarcus Cousins. Boogie needs to be associated with winning and prove to everyone that he can get along with everybody in the locker room. I think it's great for him. I like it even if he doesn't play this year and he just is around that culture.
Is it good for guys like Jordan Bell, who seem to be taking a next step in his career now, maybe taking a step back with Boogie coming in?
Well, I think you got to know Boogie's only going to play late in the season if he plays. That's a tough injury, Achilles injury. Yep. Jordan Bell, I think, is what he is and is who he is. They found a steal there late in the draft last year. What a ball of energy. I love Jordan Bell. He's a shot blocker. He's no Boogie Cousins. I think Boogie and the Bell kid will get along well.
Boogie and the Bell. I like all of your
Thank
off-season moves
you.
that you're high on. Let's see what comes to fruition next season. But there's still a league in season right now. The top team in the WNBA look to maintain their spot on top. We check in with Dallas and Seattle next. You're watching NBA Game Time.